Hey everyone, this is Darren Benton with Performance Motorcoaches. We are out on a nice, bright, sunshiny West Texas day here at the dealership. Want to do a pretty thorough walkthrough video of a Peterbilt CBF. This coach is available as of February 22nd. We'll have some updated pictures on the website, but wanted to do a pretty good walkthrough and then just talk about, a few things that we do a little bit differently than some of the other guys that are out there on the market. So we committed to a few of the Peterbilts. This is a Peterbilt 567. This has a pretty wicked price associated with it because of the Peterbilt chassis. For the diehard truck guys, the Peterbilt is kind of the coveted truck itself, and definitely comes with a pretty good price tag. This coach MSRP is at about $731. We sell XLs that are full body paint, that are 360 cams, that have leather interior, that are about the $745 range. So it kind of gives you an idea. So you definitely are paying a pretty good premium for the Peterbilt chassis. So this is the 567. Now what we did different than basically anybody else out there is we got rid of all the black. So because Peterbilt is typically known for more chrome, more of the classic style, the truck comes with a chrome bumper, big polished grille, polished headlights. Of course, you get your emission system. I didn't want black awnings. I didn't want black slide toppers. I didn't want all the black accents to go with it. Now, some of that is, really can't be contended with in regards to your entry door, some of the surround there. But I think it's a nice look. To me, the black just kind of sticks out like a sore thumb on this really classic looking truck. So, I said it is the 567. As far as the engine itself, it is the X15, so 605 horsepower, 1850 torque, and it does have this has a 13 speed. From here on out, we'll actually have an 18 speed, so that'll be pretty impressive. We got some stuff that'll be the 18 speed, the 579. So basically the true classic looking trucker's truck, but with this cab. We'll have those later on. So the CBF is probably our #1 selling floor plan. It is a 2-bath bunkhouse. You can get it as a half bath in the middle. Seems a little silly, but so we generally always bring them in 2 full baths. What I like about the Classic versus the XL in a bunkhouse is you have a little bit more room, a little bit more storage. Additionally, your mid shower is about 4 inches wider. And not that I'm the skinniest guy, not that I'm the biggest guy, but that 4 inches in that mid shower does make a big difference. Michelin tires all the way around, 315 rubber on it. It does have polished aluminum all the way around. We'll just go ahead and jump into it. We have the dual Gerards up top. We've got the kind of the fake profiles on the other side that kind of hides that. All your air conditioning up top. All the cargo compartments are bed lined. Makes it nice to be able to take and wipe out. I generally suggest if you put anything heavy, go ahead and throw a small mat inside. That's one thing I wanted to kind of show. We've not gone through and adjusted every single storage compartment. We just got the coach in 3 days ago. But to me, this is pretty darn impressive. You can hold the door and it automatically closes like that. Outdoor TV is locked, so we won't even go through that. Aqua Hot right here. It is an option to do the 600 Aqua Hot versus the 450. We've done several power washers in this compartment. If you do the 600, there's not enough room for us to cram all that stuff in there. Really and truly, I think the 450 does a pretty good job. The biggest benefit to the 600 versus the 450 is you have dual electric elements, so you have a little bit more backup in regards to if you have any kind of boiler issues. I've noticed lots of people talking about some, boiler fault. One thing you can always do, always start your engine and always get a warm shower. So don't ever forget that. If this thing takes a crap, you can always take a nice warm shower, start your engine. Probably high idle if you want a really warm shower. Midship turn signals right there. Like I said, I like to do more lights. This coach does have a few more lights than normal, kind of go along with the theme, the trucker, the chicken lights. My #1 favorite compartment on all the Renegades, this big 3/4 pass-through. So I wish I had something to be able to stick way back in there, but I can tell you I can't even put my arm back all the way back there. So it's a pretty good ways back there for a table or brooms, ladders, something like that to be able to slide underneath. And we do, if you'll see, we do 110 outlets in basically every single compartment, and then we do these little turnouts. So if you're at a campground and didn't want to have to slam your extension cord in there, say, you know, you charge in a golf cart, you'd be able to take and run that through there. So lots of options there. Another thing that we typically like to do on all of our units. Central vac. Why do I like central vac? Because I get a free 110 plug next to it. The port is underneath the bed, and in fact 2025 central vac will be centered all the way across the board, so you might as well fall in love with it if you're going to have to pay for it and get it next year. It's part of it. You can always tell a Classic by two things. So essentially the flat back, so there's no fiberglass cap, and then the extrusion up top. We do paint that extrusion instead of doing just the mill finish. To me, the mill finish is basically this color right here. The issue with that is it will oxidize in time, and you get the black marks that run down the side. So to me, it's kind of no-brainer doing the painted top rail. There again, with all the white and chrome, everything kind of just ties in. Hitch itself is lots of confusion on the hitch. So basically, the assembly right here with this is rated at 30,000 pounds. Now you'd have to take and change it up to a Pennell if you're going to go up to a 40 or a mini fifth wheel. Really and truly, if you're pulling a 40,000 pound trailer with one of these rigs, I might consider going a little bit shorter overall unit to have less overhang. So you've got 40,000 pound trailer, you probably have 8,000 pounds of tongue weight, just a little too much for the back of a coach like this. It is very convertible, so flat toe, it has the ball assembly that will come with it, 2" and 2 5/16. You could put a bicycle rack, flat toe there, so lots of different things you could do there. We do option the hitch cam right here. Just makes it a little bit easier rather than relying on your top camera up there. We generally will cap these off. It's just not been through our shop. Aesthetically, if you don't need the glad hands, you don't have to worry about them. We'll just take and cap them off. So I've got the 36-foot short cord there. There is a 50 amp plug inside, so if you had a trailer, you need to be plugged in there. And then we do, for some of our customers, we'll make whips to be able to do like a nice twist lock on the back of the coach instead of having to run your short cord from your trailer all the way up. But lots of different things we can do here. So anything tandem axle over 40 foot will be standard 12.5 on end. That's the largest generator that's RVIA, so it's the largest generator you'll typically see on a Renegade. It does pull from the same fuel tank that your engine and your aqua pulls from. I'll stop here. So I've heard a few people on the owners forum the last few weeks use the term twin screw. They're kind of confused by the twin screw, and then you hear tandem axle, you hear tag axle, you hear all these things back and forth that probably, you know, unless you're a truck guy, unless you've been doing it for a while, you might not really understand kind of what the difference is. So if you're looking at a diesel pusher, so a big giant box, this axle is never live. And most of the time you just have one set of tires and wheels. Basically, you only have two across the back. So right now, because it's a truck, it has to have four. The nice thing about most trucks, basically any of our chassis will be spec. So if you were a little worried about getting stuck in the mud, I mean, I've seen it on wet grass. I've seen Prevos get stuck on perfectly manicured wet grass. We can engage this axle left to right, and then we can engage this axle right here as well. So that's the nice thing about a truck. Snow and ice gets you in and out at a lot of places that typically you might not be able to get in a diesel pusher. But the term twin screw, it's because you can basically have your two axles pushing in all the time. So a little bit different than the diesel pushers. And then additional weight. You know, most of those with just a single axle right here and then just a single set of tires and wheels will be good for about 12 to 13,000 pounds versus 20,000 pounds what you get here. Wet bay, nice, clean, easy to use. Does have a whole house water filter system there. There again, kind of no-brainer. I mean, the Renegade has perfected their wet bay. Really no need for improvement. There is a hydronic register within that bay. Your gray and your black are in these two compartments right here, so 75 gallons apiece. It does have the macerator pump. If you do run into an issue with the macerator pump, the we generally can just loosen that. One thing, if you bought from somebody else and you're doing your initial PDI, do not use that macerator pump the first few times you dump. You get so much trash within your gray water, black water whenever the coach is assembled. So we always, I guess maybe I'm giving up some information, we always like to take and flush the tanks out several times before we use the macerator, because you end up pitching some plastic or maybe some metal in that macerator pump. It's not quite like pitching some waste and toilet paper in it, so you could definitely damage that. So we always highly suggest clearing it a few times. So the most expensive bay on the coach has 4 big lithiums, 270 amp hours a piece. Does have the dual Victron. It has the Victron solar controller. Right now there are 3 200-watt panels up top. We've got a little bit more real estate where if a guy wanted to add some panels, we could do it. And that is a 100 amp controller, so we could take and just add a few more panels to that if that's what a person might need. So preference, and very easily change here at the dealership. Chassis batteries right here. They cannot run your chassis batteries the same compartment as your inverter, so basically it has to be a completely sealed battery if you're going to run within your inverter. So that's what you'll see. If you'll see, those are regular AGM batteries, you would see them separated, but you can run the lithiums in the inverter compartment. So if anybody, inquiring minds, want to know, that's kind of how it's set up. Now, because of most of your Freightliners will have your fuel tank pushed back, and then we can do the def tank here. I think this aesthetically looks a little bit better, having your fuel tank right here. You see the big polished fuel tank, and then your diesel exhaust fluid, or def tank there. Nice easy entry into the cab. The nice thing about these Peterbilts is, you know, whenever you're making a circle, it's going to be a big one, a big giant circle, but they just simply don't turn as sharp as some of the Freightliners and Volvos. But, you know, to me, just like I said, look at that. If you're wanting something that really stands out in the crowd, if you're a truck guy, if you want something that's going to be unique from most of the other rigs out on the road, definitely the Peterbilt 567 was something you want to look at. We'll go ahead and jump inside. We do have a big grill guard we might stick on this before it's all said and done with. We do have some of the big herds as well. We typically don't stock the big herd for this, but we'd have the big X guard. There again, if you wanted additional lights, light packages here, that's something we can easily get done here at the dealership. Nice wide entry step going in. So this is Cape Cod stain, which to me, it took me a little while to become kind of comfortable and accustomed to the Cape Cod. It's a really nice light feel. Pretty much all of our XL line will have the Cape Cod stain. Of course, it's an option, not on this coach. It's not an option because the coach is built. Just kind of gives it a little bit different feel, more airy feel, more open feel. The decor in this is Summit, which really and truly, all it means for us is this guy and this guy. Now, for 2025, I finally got those guys talked into giving me some wood inserts. So you said, Darren, I love this coach, but you have to get me more wood here. That's something that is an option, and we've been able to kind of work through this to bring the basically no fabric that sometimes dates the coach, but to me, just a one color fabric doesn't change it up too much. But for people that are looking to order a coach, especially the Classic, don't get too involved with the decor group, because ultimately that's what it is. Your mattress, your all your bedding you can take and throw away, so it's really not an issue as far as decor there. And with the Classic, you can pick different color floor, you can pick different color stain, you can pick different profile cabinet, different countertops, different backsplashes, so many different things you can take and change up on a Classic versus very set on some of the other products themselves. So want to show you got a fair amount of room to be able to get in and out of the cab itself. Be able to get to your refrigerator here, and then we'll take and get flip-flopped around. some little wood particles. But like I said, I can get back here, get to my pantry, washer dryer. I can get to the mid bath as well, so still a fair amount of room. We will get everything kind of put away and slid out. Curbside. We can only do one. Do that hydraulic slide. So all the front slides on the Classics will be a hydraulic slide. You can only do one at a time. Different Fireflies sometimes will allow you to do more than one slide. This is set up where you can only do one. So pretty darn fast with the hydraulic slide there. I'm going to discard this little. I think our beautiful West Texas day is going to end with a lot of dirt and wind, but we'll make sure we get everything buttoned up and completed. So we'll kind of start here and then we'll run to the back. So most of the Classic floor plans will utilize this same type kitchen. So basically the 38 up to the only larger coach that has this is the 45 CBF. But you're looking at a 38, 40, 41, it will basically be this same kitchen area. Some of them will have take and push the pantry up here, but pretty uniform there. You'll see the dual plugs in the backsplash. I generally don't like to recess my cooktop there. I would just kind of prefer it. We've had some customer the other day that they have a cover that goes over that, just like a rubber cover. So I don't have to worry about scratching it or something that might fall on it itself. Turn the light on, just give it some additional light. All single basin sinks. Most of the time, most of our customers take these and put them away, put them far away. 43-inch Samsung Smart TV with the Samsung sound bar, and then the subwoofer is located back underneath the sink there. So definitely a little bit tighter kitchen on the 45 CBF, so uses some of the electrical here. I'm hoping to, in time, kind of get rid of this particular area and get our electrical up top. People are dumping satellites. They're going to Starlink. They're doing other types of internet. And so, the need for satellite receivers is kind of going away. So I'm hoping in time that I can get this brought from an area that maybe I could utilize. I could put a big drawer there and put lots of pots and pans in there, putting it up top there. And so that's just, the slow progression of kind of, modifying the product to become more usable. But I see that probably in the next year, we'll be able to get the electrical generally kind of pushed out of areas that you wouldn't want them in. You want to be able to utilize storage and put them in areas that you're really not going to use, that are somewhat inconvenient to be able to take and utilize. There again, if we do Starlink, even if that was gone away, we can go to the top of the compartment, put Starlink right up there. They're not that much thicker than what you would see along the wall there. So lots of different options that we can take and do. And Renegade will be offering Starlink from the factory for $25. We'll probably do our own Starlink for a bit because they might end up putting them in funky spots that might maybe not be as, might take up some room. So our first units we'll probably just install here at the dealership. Big bunk over right here. We do a cabinet to the right hand side. I'm gonna sneeze a little bit. I know the dirt's coming, so this is basically a 60-inch wide bunk over, 80 inches. So basically the equivalent of a queen size bed. We do have the escape hatch overhead, and we do have a small window there. We generally don't utilize the dirt's coming. We generally don't put a shelf here just because you end up hitting your head. But you can just, if you're charging your phone, just put your phone right off to the side. Now on the Peterbilt chassis, this is the biggest opening we can do. The Cascadia, we're going to either do an aero cap or a much larger opening in here, but this is pretty much set. The placement of this technically could be rearranged. To me, this just kind of works. So you're theater seat sitting across from your TV, and then your dinette up front. But you could take and change it up. You could do a couch here, so if you wanted a fold-out couch, lots of different things as an option. So it's more about the placement than it is the actual piece of furniture. So if you got a place where you can put couch, theater seat, anything like that. Pretty good room here. There again, if somebody wants a larger picture window and to dump those cabinets, we generally try to keep the cabinets in place on the bunkhouse units. Hopefully I can get through without too many more sneezes, so I apologize. Lambrite furniture, nice, very utilitarian furniture, but good quality. And then that is a man-made ultra lead that does a really good job at holding up. Said pantry right here, kind of showed that earlier, but I mean, nice big deep pantry. Storage cabinet up top, and those are all our convertible shelves. Washer dryer here. We didn't even vacuum it. We just washed it, so I apologize for some of the stuff that's on the floor. Big bunk beds right here. So I would say man-sized bunk beds to be able to get in here and still have decent room to lay down. You do have storage below those, and then you have USB-C and regular USB plugs in every compartment there. We've not run that slide out yet. I'll get that real quick.
It's not all the way out, is it?
No. So below the bed is the fresh water. So you've got 150 gallons of fresh water on board here. Basically 2 75-gallon tanks below the bed. Pocket door here so you can isolate this bunk room. This is a 66-inch wide mattress, 80 inches long. The person wanted to do a 72. They just basically lose the little nightstands on each side of the bed. These are just regular manual shades, not power shades. It would be an option to take and do the power shades themselves. Nice big closet area right here. It is a cedar lined closet as well. And then there again, a lot of storage. Kind of like I'd hinted earlier, trying to do more uniform cabinet doors because people are getting away from a lot of the satellite stuff. Most of the coaches we'll have from here on out will be just a regular cabinet door instead of an AV. Really and truly, if you're doing satellite, everything will be pre-wired there, and they're all radio frequency remote, so there's really no need to be able to point your unit at it. So I'm going to come in the master. Nice big shower here. This is an option to be able to have this in place here. We do have additional shower caddies, so if somebody said, hey, I want to be able to put one here, there, we could take and do any kind of additional caddy. These are all adjustable, so if you had a little tyke in here, or to be able to take and bathe the dog as well. We option all our coaches with a basically the max air fan in your kitchen area and then all your bath areas. So take and plop in here. It's a decent room here. We do have the 110 plug in the back or above your backsplash, so still a pretty good amount of room here. And then nice wide open all the way to the very front of the coach. So I don't think we did this bathroom. Sorry, I'm kind of sniffly. So trying to kind of go through it. So this is the full half bath. I'll get in here. Like I said, this is 28 inches wide right here versus the XL is only 24. So basically I'm not quite, I mean, I've got a few inches there, but this was 24 inches. It'd be a tough time for, I guess I have to make sure I'm lubed up well to be able to get in and out of this. So, but same type setup in regards to the shower head here. All this is taken and adjustable. Do have the max air vent overhead and then a fair amount of storage within the cabinets base there. We'll see if we can't get out and do a little drive along in this. All the little wood things are driving me nuts, so we're gonna do a little bit of vacuuming and then we'll do kind of follow-up drive-through video. Make sure you guys like, tag, and subscribe, and I'm going to try to keep from sneezing anymore.